My name is Nelaya Montalvo. I'm the Director of Leadership Development at Homes for Families. I'm also a single mom and a Boston resident who, yay! I'll tell you why that's special. Without a subsidy, I would be living in a shelter because I can't afford to keep up with this rental market. Housing is not a luxury. Housing is a basic human right. Housing is a place to call home for low-income families and individuals across this nation. Housing is shelter from the elements which can be raw and unforgiving. Housing is a safe space for children to grow, learn, and study. Housing is what makes it possible for us to shift our priorities from survival to achievement. Because if we're housed, our most basic human need has been met. Safety and shelter. Housing is where we grow roots in the community and branch out to become our brother's keepers. They say it takes a village. Well, here we are. They say united we stand. Well, here we are. They say that the people united will never be defeated. Well, here we are. There is no one that is unworthy for a place to rest their head, wash their face, prepare a meal, or keep warm when it is cold out. I say to the powers that be that there is no excuse that justifies homelessness. There is no context in which it's totally fine to have people living in our streets. There is no scenario where it's okay to turn a blind eye and divest. Increase and invest. Housing is a human right. And with that, it is my great pleasure to introduce to you Rachel Heller, CEO of CHAPA.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. How are you today? Nice. Thank you all for being here and for raising your voice today to make sure that everybody has a safe, healthy, affordable home. As Nelaya said, we are here today to talk about the importance of home. Homes are the foundation of our lives. They provide the base that we all need for health, to do well in school, to do well in work. They allow us to care for our families and age in our communities. They provide stability, a place for us to return to at the end of a long day, and a place for us to celebrate all of the great things that are happening in our lives. Homes build our economy, creating jobs and providing a place for employees to live. We're here today to call on Congress to invest more in affordable homes and in our communities. We all know that rents and home prices in Massachusetts continuously rank in the top 10 of the least affordable for anybody here in the state. Boo. Yet our communities, our cities, the state are doing what they can. They are investing resources. Here in Boston, the mayor has set a goal of 53,000 new homes, and Boston recently passed the Community Preservation Act to invest more resources into affordable homes. The legislature and governor have proposed investing more than $1.4 billion into affordable homes over the next 5 years. And we have a long history here in Massachusetts of investing in homes and communities. We are one of a handful of states that has our own public housing developments. We are one of a handful of states that has our own rental subsidy programs. And we are one of a handful of states that invest significant resources every year into producing and preserving affordable homes. But we cannot do it alone. We need our federal partners. Today, we are here to call on Congress to invest more in our homes and our communities. To do so, Congress must lift the spending caps that they set back in 2011 that have decreased funding for affordable homes and community development. Budget cuts threaten the investments made in affordable homes in our communities. Thanks to the work of people like Congresswoman Katherine Clark, who's here today, woo! The budget proposals that we see coming out of Congress are better than expected, and they're certainly better than what the president has proposed. It's a yay and a boo. However, keeping things level is not enough. More investment is needed. Currently, more than 85% of HUD's budget goes directly to renewing housing assistance for people who are already in their homes. When HUD's resources are cut or don't grow with the increasing costs, it threatens the stability that millions of people have achieved with the help of rental assistance. Never mind the more than 100,000 people in Massachusetts who are on a wait list for Section 8 right now. How long will they have to wait until they get the help that they need today? Too long. We are joined today by Mayor Martin Walsh and Congresswoman Katherine Clark, who will talk about the critical role of federal investment in our communities. We're also joined on stage by people who will share some of the many challenges that many people in this audience and all around the state face in obtaining a home that they can afford. And we're joined by a bunch of fierce housing advocates. Woo! But that's not all. In addition to everybody up here and all of you, I also want to call attention to some elected leaders that are joining us today. We have Representative Kevin Honan, the House Chair of the Legislature's Committee on Housing, Representative Carmine Gentile, also on the Housing Committee, City Councilor Tito Jackson, and City Councilor Tim McCarthy. I now have the honor of introducing the mayor, who I'm making sure is right. Yes, he's right behind me. Fantastic. And Councilor Sivy George is also with us today. Thank you. Thank you very much for all of your support. Now I have the honor of introducing Mayor Walsh. Mayor Walsh has committed his life and his career to public service. He works to make Boston a thriving, healthy, and innovative city where there's equality and opportunity for all. Since taking office, Mayor Walsh has focused on strengthening Boston's schools, creating new tools to help workers with low wages to increase their incomes. He's elevated the issue and the attention on income inequality and is working to address the city's housing challenges. Mayor Walsh has put forward a very ambitious plan to build 53,000 new homes in Boston, Massachusetts to meet the need, the growing need. Woo! And just 2 weeks ago, he came out with a plan to increase the homes that are available, that are affordable for people with disabilities who need more affordable and accessible opportunities. In addition, he's created the Housing Innovations Lab to identify more solutions to meet the many needs of all the people in the city. Born and raised in Dorchester by immigrant parents, Mayor Walsh is driven to make sure Boston is a city where anyone can overcome their challenges and fulfill their dreams. Please welcome Mayor Marty Walsh.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Way to go, Dorchester. Thank you, Rachel, and I want to thank everyone at Citizens Housing and Planning Association. I want to thank all the elected officials that came out today. My good friend, Representative Honan, who's the chairman of, well, was the chairman of Housing in the House of Representatives, did some incredible things over the years. Thank you, Representative, for what you have done. Congresswoman Clark, who I'll get a chance to bring up here in a minute, I want to thank her as well. The people behind me, the City Council, we work very hard every day to make sure that we continue to create more affordable housing and protect and expand affordable housing as we see out here. And I want to thank all the organizations. I want to thank Jamaica Plain, NDC. I want to thank Urban Edge. I want to thank the Jewish Community Housing for the Elderly. I want to thank Pine Street Inn. I want to thank Rogerson. And if I miss you, I want to thank you. Thank you very much. We have stood with almost every single one of you as we put our heads together and we pooled our resources. We broke ground on new housing. We cut ribbons on affordable homes in our city. That's how affordable housing gets built today. We work together with everyone because we believe that a Boston that is for everyone. And I want to thank all of the organizations that are here. I want to thank you for your incredible work because it takes every age, every race, every income, every disability, a home for everyone with no exceptions. That's what we're fighting for right now. And that's what we need out of the leaders in the White House and the Congress to understand what we have to do here. We're talking about fundamental values. It's not time to retreat. It's time to move forward. And that's what we're doing here today. And that's what we're doing in Boston. Together, we're requiring more from developers with tougher inclusionary development policies. Last year, we took in a record $23.7 million. Altogether, in the last 3 years, the city of Boston has put in $100 million into affordable housing. Nearly 9,000 affordable housing units have been built or under construction right now. And we still feel the pain. And we still feel the pressure. We've set records for the last 3 years. But there's still too many people and too many families that are struggling. And there's more that we have to do. Together, we passed the Community Preservation Act. Thank you. Thank you. That's going to bring in another $20 million a year for affordable housing, open space, and preservation. We named Christine Parr from Jamaica Plain the director. She's going to be a powerful voice for everybody as we move forward. And we're working with the council now to finalize what the board makeup will be, and we'll be able to move forward. Together, we created the Office of Housing Stability. That office has helped people stay in their homes in these very difficult times. And we continue to build that office up. And the Jim Brooks Community Stabilization Act, that's now in front of the council. We're working to get that to the legislature so we can move forward on that process. We've housed 1,100 chronically homeless individuals. We've set new standards for housing accessibility with disabilities. We're getting millions of dollars in our public housing for hundreds of new units at Whittier Street. Thank you, President Obama. Old Colony, Orient Heights. We're turning over every single rock and stone, looking to see how we can do more. You know it, I know it, everyone who pays rent knows that we have to continue to do this. Now is not the time to retreat. It's a time to move forward and keep Boston and everyone moving forward. To be part of the solution, not part of the problem. Billy McGonigal's here from the Boston Housing Authority. Thank you, Billy, who's working every single day. Sheila Dillon's here, Chief of Housing for the City of Boston. Thank you, Sheila Dillon. We're joined by City Councilor Frank Baker from Dorchester that knows the problem in his neighborhoods. HUD programs are investments for the future. First-time home buyer program, rental assistance, development grant, tax credits, public housing, maintenance, and renovations. They bring neighborhood stability and economic strength. We need Washington to understand that. We need Washington to understand the impacts of HUD cutting money back on poor people. It's not a Democrat and Republican issue. It's an American issue. It's a fundamental right that we should be standing in our cities and towns across America to let them know in Congress we need to have a strong and stable workforce We need to have healthy kids who can learn in our schools. We need seniors who can age in their homes. In Boston, it's a place for everyone, and in America, it should be a place for everyone. We need to continue to fight. Now, we're blessed here in Massachusetts because we have a congressional, when I talk about what's happening in Washington, whether they're trying to attack the Affordable Care Act, or the immigrants, or the Muslim community, or whoever it is that they're attacking in that particular day, I always say that we need the resolution in Congress. And we have a delegation in Boston and Massachusetts that cares. The next speaker who's coming up to this microphone, I had the pleasure and honor and pleasure of serving with her when she was a member of the Massachusetts House of Representatives. She was there for about 2 cups of coffee. She went up to the state Senate. Then she got elected to the United States Congress. And I was proud. I was proud last year when I watched my friend, Congresswoman Katherine Clark, sit on the House floor when she was fighting for making sure that we had good, tough gun laws in this country. Because another issue, too many of our young people are dying. And I'm honored to be standing here with her today, leading this fight. Let's give a Boston round of applause for Congresswoman Katherine Clark.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Walsh. He's got a lot of fans up here in front. And he's got a lot of fans everywhere because he understands that housing and the issues that affect our communities affect all of us. And we can't wait for someone to call our name. We have to make sure that we are fighting for everybody. And that's why we are so pleased to be here with Marty. We're so pleased to be here with Nalaya and with Rachel and with the city councilors behind us and the state representatives and senators here who have joined us. And a special shout out from my district to the Shulman House seniors who are sitting here. We are so proud to have you here, and we're going to fight for you. And your fight, your advocacy, your voice helps level the playing field for millions of families, not only here in the Commonwealth and in Boston, but around the country. Because thousands of families in Massachusetts have had to rely on emergency shelter while we face an affordable housing crisis. Too many hardworking families are spending almost all of their income on housing, and it doesn't leave anything over. It makes for impossible choices. Do you pay the health care bill, the child care bill, the tuition bill, the basic food bills, or do you keep shelter for your family? And too often, we hear it said that where we invest is a reflection of our values, but we don't follow through. We don't make the investments that reflect who we are, that reflects what we want to be. And we don't make sure that everybody has safe, secure, and permanent housing. But here we are. If we didn't have enough to contend with, now we have an administration that needs to be reminded every day that our economy only works when everyone has a chance to participate in it. And when you see the deep cuts proposed to affordable housing, to education, to health care, it is not only cruel and callous, but they pose a threat to our economic future, to the future of our children and our grandchildren. Last year alone, in Massachusetts, more than 20,000 students were homeless. 20,000 students being forced to forfeit their opportunities, robbing them of a chance to have a permanent home, to call their base, to be that base of security, a dangerous step in the wrong direction. When we slash federal investments in affordable housing, you know how devastating that is to the people at home. It is a recipe for public housing to fall into disrepair and shutter, for our homeless population to increase, and put the skyrocketing burden on our already strapped emergency shelter. Programs like the Community Development Block Grant and tax credits that boost affordable housing are necessary and deserve our support. So here's where all of you come in. I know that you're not, and you know that I'm not, shy about holding this administration, this White House, accountable. And thousands of my constituents call my office and say, we have to fight against these misguided cuts. And it's going to be my job with you to bring this fight every day to Washington, D.C. But the only way I do it is with all of you. And every time I put my hand to vote for equality, for justice, for housing, for everyone, I feel your hand on top of mine. And I encourage you, we've got to keep going. So you keep up the calls. You keep up the organizing. You keep fighting, because our families are worth it. Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you for what you do, and we will not stop till we achieve justice. Thank you.
So really quickly, how amazing all of you and all of us together. Just to get a sense who's out there, because people came from all over the state. This is a nationwide issue. Where's Boston? Is Boston in the house? Metro West, Merrimack Valley, North Shore, South Shore, Central Mass, Western Mass,